up, though? We are at the factory once again with a new special guest, Kyeisha.
Hello.
So, Kyeisha, I just met you last week, right? Yeah, we talked for the first time 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. You decided to join Star Factory. And I was like, you know what? This girl got a story. And, it's just like, I felt like it was only right to bring her on as the third guest of At the Factory, just because I feel like it might be a lot of people out here who have a similar story and that they really, can resonate with what you're going through, what you have gone through, what you're still trying to overcome. So yeah, like let's talk about it. Let's just get straight into it. And then, and of course, like I would love for everyone to follow your journey here at Star Factory, and in real time, just kind of seeing like how it's going, how you're progressing, and we don't have no excuse. We put it out here to the world. So I have a job to do. You got a job to do. So we can't, once we put it out there into the universe, we can't hide. Right. So if you don't really progress, then that's gonna fall on both of us. So go ahead, tell us, just tell us about your background, and of course, like the same story you told me.
Okay, well, basically, growing up, I was adopted, and it was me and 3 other sisters out of 12, but we all got split up into groups. But
so you were born into
no. I wasn't born into that family. I was taken, and I was put into foster care, and I was adopted after foster care.
But you have 12. You have 11 blood siblings.
Yes, 11 blood siblings
from your biological parents.
Yes.
And it was 12 of y'all and 4 of y'all.
Yeah. It didn't. It's kind of difficult to like explain, but we were all basically split up into groups and put into different homes and adopted, different places and stuff. So I didn't grow up with a lot of them. I still haven't even met all of them, but I did grow up with 3 of my sisters. 2 were younger than me. 1 was a little bit older than me. And basically my adopted parents, they started off seeming like they were, they started off like seeming like okay people, but.
And how old were you when you first got to their house?
I was 4 years old.
Okay.
So yeah, at first, like, I just remember being very confused about my whole life. Like, why am I here with these people? Like, because they didn't look anything like me. And it was like, the way they was treating me was very questionable. And I just remember being very confused as a little girl. But I remember being separated from my younger sisters, and me and my older sister, we would share a room. And then later on, like, we were separated too. So basically, me and my older sister, we would just always talk about music and just sing songs and make up songs as little girls and make up imaginary characters. Like, my imaginary character name was Dorea. I don't know why, but she had.
So you actually had an imaginary friend?
Not a friend. It was a character I pretended to be.
Oh, you pretended to be this person, so you didn't like talk to them.
No. I pretended to be her. Like, I made up songs.
So and your alter ego.
Yeah, alter ego basically, and we would have like pretend talent shows and stuff like that, and pretend to perform and stuff. But
is that still your alter ego to this day? Like,
no.
Can you turn into Dorea?
Not Dorea, but Kyeisha, yeah.
Okay.
Because Kyeisha is actually my birth name. It actually got changed when I was adopted to Kyla, but I don't want to be called Kyla anymore. I want to be called Kyeisha. So I want to go by that. I want to walk in those shoes. Like, I want to feel like I'm Kyeisha, not Kyla.
So when it's time for the big stage,
yes,
you can transform into Kyeisha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So that's basically like who I am is Kyeisha. But so basically, like, yeah, I grew up loving music and just loving to sing and stuff. But Unfortunately, my adopted parents didn't want me to love music. They wanted me to feel like I couldn't sing and not, you know, and they didn't want to hear me sing, basically. So I remember just always being in my room trying to sing out louder. I had an MP3 player when I was younger, but that got taken away from me at one point, and I just remember just singing out loud and being told to shut up, like hearing them from the other room, like, shut up.
What was the reason they didn't want you to like music?
I don't know.
Was there a religious reason?
No. They just didn't want us to sing. They didn't want to hear us. They said we couldn't sing, me and my sister, but we could. And I knew I could sing because when I went to school, other kids was telling me I could sing. I was singing with this one girl that I went to school with, and we would always have a crowd of people around us asking to sing more songs.
Whether y'all could sing or not didn't even matter, because my mother told me I couldn't sing, and I probably couldn't. I was pretty terrible when I was like in high school and younger, and my mother told me that I was not a good singer. But look at me now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it doesn't even matter if you can or can't. You know, as a parent, you should still allow your child to blossom and do what's inside of them. You know?
Yeah, they didn't want to see that happen. Yeah, so when I told them, I was like, yeah, other kids say I can sing, they tried to tell me that they were lying and laughed at us and mocked us.
Your parents?
Yes. So, I mean, I was still kind of confident at a young age. I remember I had a solo part in my music class. I had to sing in front of everybody, and I was confident. And like I said, I sang for people at recess, like my one friend I went to school with, until I just started. As I got older, I just lost the confidence because I was tired of getting told to shut up, and I guess they was getting into my head. And I knew I could sing. Like, I never doubted myself, like, I can't sing, but it just, being told to shut up constantly, it messed with my confidence. And I just started purposely lowering my voice whenever I was in my room, so that way I wouldn't be heard. And I feel like because of that, I have a terrible confidence, and like I have a hard time projecting my voice and reaching my full potential that I know I have in me. It's really hard because I went like that for years, all the way to I lived with my parents until my 18th birthday. So imagine being a kid, loving music, and basically forcing yourself to sing low on purpose your whole life.
So 12 years of being told to shut up, 12 years of you basically like dimming your light.
Yeah. And then like not singing in front of people, like being too shy to sing in front of people. Even when I went to school, like I was still too shy to sing, like as I got older. So a lot of people don't even know I sing. I don't even really sing at work or anything, and I love to sing. But
well, unfortunately, that's not the first time I've heard this type of story. There are parents out there that do that. I've heard a bunch of people say that, you know, they grew up in a household like that. And so I'm sorry you had to go through that, because, you know, like I'm super passionate about people following their dreams. If you want to sing, you should be able to sing. That's exactly the reason why I started Star Factory. It's because when I graduated high school, I just had this huge passion, undeniable passion. And I was able to get into the studio. My mother helped me get into the studio right after I graduated, and I fell in love. I was like, yo, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. And I meant it. And I went to a prestigious all-boy high school, and I was the only one that didn't go to college because I wanted to do music. And so I started pursuing it, but I just was confused as to like why people were calling this place Motown. Cause it's like, why are y'all calling this Motown? Mm-hmm. I mean, I hear the music, but I don't see the people. I don't see the record label. Right. So, Motown had left in the 60s. And so it was like, what is going on in this city where somebody like me can, try to pursue this dream? And there wasn't anything, So I finally ended up meeting a producer. And I just was green. I didn't know anything. I'm like, why I'm thinking producers are supposed to be rich and famous, and he just was a regular guy.
Right.
So I literally knew nothing, like out of high school, nothing. And so he he was making my beats. I was writing the songs, and I thought the songs was dope. But then listening back years later, they was pretty whack. But you know, I wrote them, and then eventually they must have been so whack that he stopped showing up to the sessions. So I'm like, you know, I got all this studio time, and I'm literally by myself now. Mm-hmm. So my mother bought me, as you can see, my mother was very supportive. My mother bought me a keyboard, and I started making my own beats. And the beats ended up being better than, you know, the producers. And that's pretty much how I got my start on behind the scenes, because at that point I started working with a bunch of other artists, and I just started feeling like less and less like an artist and more like a producer, right. More like a songwriter. And that's pretty much how I got my start. And then, you know, years later, I did get an opportunity to create a place so that somebody like you, when you really, you know, want to start pursuing this, you have a place that you can go to really start, you know, developing and learning and getting opportunities and, right. You know, all that good stuff. So you called me 2 weeks ago. Yep. As a shy, not confident, soft little singer. Right?
Yes.
And so what are you hoping happens, let's say in the next, let's say year?
I just want to drop at least one song. Like, I want to start sharing my story, really, because that's all my songs are about, is my story. Like, I'm not the typical singer that just sings about, I mean, I have love songs, I have life story type songs, sad songs, I'm different. I know I'm different. I know my songs are different. Like, so I just really want to share my story and like what I've been through, and I feel like that's what I'm here to do. Like, that's why I love music, because that's what I'm good at, and I just feel like it's time to get it out there. But I just don't know where to start and how. But I just know I need to do something. So. And then I was just really trying to find a new engineer and a new studio to go to. Because my previous one, like, I liked it, but I just feel like I just needed to find something different for personal reasons. But I was just looking online, you know. I follow a lot of people that inspire me, and I just came across Star Factory and started checking out their page, and I was like, okay, seems cool, like, seems interesting, seems like something I can do. Like, they have a lot of opportunities, like, and I seen they had music class. That's another thing I really wanted to start like doing vocal training too. So I was also looking for that, not just a new studio and engineer. I was looking for vocal training and people that can help me like project my voice and stuff like that. So
well, I'm not gonna hold you up. You made a great decision. Because somebody like you is like you're like the perfect Star Factory client. Perfect. You're the reason why Star Factory exists, you know. And that is why I'm very confident, you know, bringing you onto the podcast, because I literally want everybody to see your journey, you know. I don't like you're like we're literal strangers, like, on a podcast, you know what I'm saying? Like, you told me the quick story, and I was just like, yo, this is something that, you know, is going to be the biggest turnaround that I can potentially see, you know, really? This year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I'm not talking about success, I'm just talking about growth. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that we guarantee at Star Factory is growth. Mm-hmm. You know? And, you know, when we are consulting artists, like, we can almost guarantee, we don't do it, but we can almost guarantee that you can build a fan base, but that a lot of it falls on you. You know, it's only so much a consultant can do. But yeah, like, I heard you sing, you have a nice voice,
Thank you.
We did your before video, but it's a lot of room to grow. It's a lot of room to grow, and like you say you want to put out a single, and you kind of didn't answer my question. What are you hoping happens? Like, what are you hoping happens like this year, in the next 12 months?
I thought I did drop a single.
I mean, what are you hoping to happen after? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can drop a single. Like, you can record your song next week and upload it.
Yeah.
You could drop a single. That's not a hope.
Oh. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you hoping happens?
I just get like my confidence back, and I gain my control over my voice and get my voice stronger, and we become good business partners, and we both learn from each other. and and to gain supporters, I guess.
So basically, fans.
Yeah.
You don't like that word?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't like it. I just feel like it's like I think I'm better than them. No, I don't think I'm better.
I feel like that's your lack of confidence talking. Great artists should have fans. You need to believe that. Great artists will have fans. It's not cocky. It's not, like sports teams have fans. Great artists have fans. Visual artists have fans. Actors have fans. You don't need supporters. You want fans. You know what I'm saying? We don't depend, like, as a business owner, like as an artist, you are a business owner, right? Mm-hmm. So the day you decide to be an artist, you are an entrepreneur. And any entrepreneur who is counting on support already lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want fans. So I need you to start like thinking that way, and because if you want, like, the posture that you're going to have looking for supporters versus the posture you're going to have looking for fans is going to be totally different. When you are, gaining to build a fan base, which is what we can definitely do, it's like you have to be the leader of that movement. You are the leader, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, once you have established your brand and all of that stuff, you now niche it down to trying to get everybody to, I'm just focused on this certain group of people that I know, that will resonate with my music and my message and the things that I'm passionate about. So, so you ready to build a fan base?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. I mean, you're probably not ready, but you gotta like literally be open to the idea, because we're gonna get you ready. But you gotta be open to the idea. So when you say that your music is about this, tell me about a song that it like literal like embodies your story.
I would say I have a lot of songs that are not finished because I have writer's block. But there's this one song that I started, and it's called Roads, and I feel like that kind of embodies my story, because I'm talking about like it's basically me saying, like, I don't know which road I'm gonna take, but I know I'm gonna get there, and it's talking about my past a little bit too. Like, I talk about my sisters. Well, I mentioned how I miss my sisters, my younger sisters that I don't get to see anymore. How I feel like I need a mom and dad, which I don't have. And just basically saying, like, I know I'm gonna get there. I just don't know which road to take, and that's literally how I feel in life. Literally, like when I write my songs, I I guess it comes from my heart because I don't even be trying to plan it out. It just literally, I find a beat and start writing, and then looking back, listening back to it, I'll be like, dang, that's literally how I feel, literally. Like, so.
And is there like like some therapy in that?
Yeah, definitely. That's my therapy because tried therapy, it didn't work.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So music is your therapy. I mean, I can't imagine like life without parents. Like I literally can't, you know. And I mean, I'm on a reality show. I don't know if you knew that, but
I think I've seen something on your page about
yeah, I'm on a pretty popular reality show on the Oprah Winfrey Network, where my mother is on there with me, and we put our relationship out there. That it wasn't the greatest. It wasn't it wasn't nothing crazy, but it's just like my mother is who she is, and she raised me a certain way, and there was just like some type of voids there, you know what I'm saying? And the emotional part, you know, it just was not like I didn't hear the word love in my household, you know, but just like not having parents, period, I can't even fathom that.
When I say parents, I mean like my mom's alive. My dad, if that is my dad, is not.
Talking about when you say your mom, are you talking about biological?
Yeah, I've met my biological, but I don't look at them as parents.
Right.
So that's what I mean.
And you don't look at the people who raised you as parents because
Not
of.
at all. Never that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like I know they exist.
Yeah.
But it's just like not having somebody to depend on, not having like that. It's got to be tough. You know what I'm saying? And that's that's why I wanted I empathize, I sympathize with your story. You know what I'm saying? Just because like it's like your success story is gonna mean more. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely rooting for you. And, I just made a piece of content in my AO series where I'm talking to all of the people in Detroit, all of the movers and shakers, all of the behind the scenes people, all of the people who you need, right? You need the producers, you need the studio owners, you need a manager eventually, you need a choreographer, you need a videographer. I'm talking to all of them, and I'm asking them to step their game up. I'm asking them to step it up because when it comes to success stories, we need more. You know, like we came from like the biggest musical movement in the world, and we need more. Like, and that's why I'm still in Detroit because that's my mission. But when somebody like me, and I'm speaking strictly from my point of view, it's like when you meet an artist, you have a choice. You have a choice to give your A game or anything under that. You can give your B, C, or D game. You know what I'm saying? Like and there's nobody to regulate what I offer. It's nobody to regulate if I'm giving my absolute best today or if I'm just kind of giving you the bare minimum. It's like that's always a decision that us, the movers and shakers of Detroit, have. And I feel like it's just too much C game, too much, D effort that's going on in this city. I feel like the artists deserve more. But I'm also going to do a piece of content on the artists because y'all really dictate everything. So like your story makes me want to bring my A game when I'm working with you. You know what I'm saying? It makes me a believer, and I feel like everybody else, now that your story is out here, is going to feel the same way, but it's also a certain energy that you got to bring to the table. Is a certain, level of effort. That's the main thing, is the level of effort that you have to bring to the table in order for that A game to continue. Because it's just human nature. It's just like, right now I believe in you and I want to keep believing in you, but I don't like, you cannot believe in everybody. And I used to, when I started Star Factory, I used to believe in everybody. But that like literally ran me down to the ground because my heart kept getting broken. You know what I'm saying? It's like belief is a thing like that you hold in your heart. And when people keep constantly wasting their talent or just letting themselves down, they let you down in your belief. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when I believe in somebody, it's literally an investment. And it's something that you know, you want to protect your investment, because it's like, you can't, I mean, you can give your A plus effort to everybody, but human nature is that you don't. And I'm seeing it in a city that most people are not, you know? So I would love for the city to just like really just step it up. But in order to step it up, the artists have to, you know,
help themselves.
Yeah, you got to bring a lot to the table to get people to want to rally behind you. You know, it's not just talent. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's like a positive attitude. You know what I'm saying? Good energy, and of course, it's the effort. So, all I know of Kyeisha right now is the story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The backstory is an A plus story, and hopefully you're able to continue to bring the effort, the energy, and you know, as long as you do that, I feel like the sky is the limit, because like I'm working hard. I'm working so hard so that any artist who comes to Star Factory lacks no resource. You don't need to, you know, I'm not trying to make Star Factory a one-stop shop. I'm not trying to make Star Factory a 360 deal where you just here forever. I'm trying to make it to where you just, like, anything you need, I can help you get that. You know what I'm saying? So all I want is a success story. You know what I'm saying? That is my currency. That is Star Factory's currency, is success stories. That's what we want. So, I'm not telling you this to put pressure on you. You know, you already got, you know, you already got enough pressure just in your life, just personal life. Music is supposed to be, you know, like an outlet and you know, your therapy or whatever. But at some point, at some point now, it's got to be more than that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's got to be more than your therapy. It's got to be your plan A. It's got to be the thing that you can pay your bills off of in 2 to 3 years.
That's definitely the goal.
Well, you're not going to do that with supporters.
But I don't understand the difference between a fan and support. A fan is somebody that supports you, right? And that's...
No.
What's the difference?
A fan is somebody that you serve. Like, you're serving their entertainment needs. You do something for them. Support is they do something for you. Supporters are family, friends, all that. Half of the time, I see artist supporters don't even like their music. You know what I'm saying? They don't even like... They just, like... If somebody loves you, they're going to support you. But that does not mean they're a fan. You don't... Like, a fan is somebody like a stranger who happens to stumble upon you in some kind of way in your marketing and promotional efforts, and is just enthralled, and they want you to remain into their entertainment portfolio. They want to add you to the playlist. They want to follow you on TikTok. They want to subscribe on YouTube. They want to buy a subscription. They want to buy a t-shirt. They want to wear you on their chest. Supporters are going to do that, but supporters is like 12. Fans can be infinite. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, how many fans does Beyonce have? You know, millions.
Yeah.
So, I definitely like artist development definitely starts with the mental game, and you have to know that you can do this. You have to know that you can win, and you have to know that like you're going to be a role model and an icon to certain people. Not you don't have to be this like Michael Jackson type icon. It's just that if you're going to be the ringleader for the people who feel lost in life,
Mm-hmm.
you have to do it well. You have to lead that movement well and with confidence, and you have to make them feel like everything is possible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, I like just off of my brief conversations, I feel like you can do that. I feel like you can do that. And so now it's just about us putting it together, the music, the development, making sure that um, when you get on that stage, you're delivering the same amazing vocals and moments that you delivered in the booth.
Right.
Because it's one thing, flat-footed singing, like you doing an audition.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people can sing well in an audition. A lot of people can sing well in a booth. But vocal training is for the stage. When you come to Star Factory and do your vocal training, that is to prepare you for the big stage, because we can do a lot of studio magic in the booth to get Kyeisha sounding like that chick.
Yeah.
But on stage, you are alone,
Mm-hmm.
on your own. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's where it really goes down. And one of our clients, Martinique, she just did a show called the Martinique Show,
Mm-hmm.
and she made so many people believers that night. You know what I'm saying? And so like my whole thing is like one performance can solidify fandom for a long time. For a long time. Like that is the one thing, like a performance should do that. You know what I'm saying? And which is why I kind of try to steer a lot of my clients from doing less performances, because most of the time somebody's asking them to perform like 3 weeks out, a month out. That like unless you have a whole show prepared and ready to go,
Mm-hmm.
that's not enough time to be able to like literally change the whole atmosphere in that evening when you're doing that show. You know what I'm saying? When you do shows, like your life should be different the next day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Most of the people who are doing these performances, their life is exactly the same the next day. They don't have new fans. They may have a little more exposure, but performances a lot of times, are distractions. It's like you got content to do, you got songs to write, you do all this, then you got to start preparing for a performance or a concert. That is a distraction. So if you are going to stop the daily grind to start, preparing for a concert, that has to be a night that we will never forget. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I'm excited to see what Kyeisha is able to do this year. When do you want to put out your first single?
I haven't really came up with a date or a month or anything, but it would be nice to possibly put one out, like, I don't know, by August, or just at least before the end of the year.
All right. Is there like a benchmark that you're trying to hit, like vocally, like on the improvement scale before you before you record or put out a song?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to make sure I'm able to hit all the notes that I used to be able to hit. Because I definitely feel like I lost some of my voice. So when I feel like my voice is starting to get back how it was, that's when I know I'm ready. But I don't really feel like I'm ready right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the focus.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna focus on pure development. In the meantime, you can start doing a lot of thinking about your brand and your image, and like that. Like cultivating the image is a journey. It's a mental journey, because like I don't know if you saw the Grammys the other day. But you see just how artists, like the stars, look.
Yeah.
Right? Like they was not born wanting to look that way. Like when they graduated high school, they were not thinking that they were going to look this way. That is something that you understand as you go how important your image is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so definitely want you to start thinking about how you can be different with your image, how you can stand out, because it matters. And people severely underestimate the power of image, especially people in Detroit, especially R&B singers in Detroit. It's like your image is going to open doors, straight up. And I'm not talking about looking good. I'm just talking about
how you carry yourself.
No, I'm talking about the look. I'm talking about looking like a brand, looking like you look like you can sell.
Yeah.
You look like you can lead a movement. You know what I'm saying? So people laugh when I say this, but artists, y'all can't be out here looking like citizens. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no. You gotta look the part. Gotta look the part, because branding is just really based on the study of the human mind. And we're not gonna change those rules. So, there's a part of you right now that's just like, oh, but I think I can do it just being me. I can, our governmental selves, we're not that interesting. You know what I'm saying? When I go to film on the Oprah Winfrey Network, it's a lot of mental preparation I got to do before that camera starts rolling. So I can be a ratchet boy on TV. It's like, no, I'm not that. But it's just like, if I was my regular self in front of that camera, the viewers would be bored out of their mind. You know what I'm saying? So it's a certain level of turn up. Everything is a turn up when you're an artist. Everything. And I'm not talking about party. I'm just talking about you turn the dial to become this exaggerated version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. You got anything else you want to say to the people? Anything you want to share?
I just wait. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you guys will be interested in me and follow this road with me.
Was there anything that you left out of the story that you feel like is important piece?
Well, I did want to tell you something that I feel like is important. I feel like I want to be a independent artist, if you know what I mean. Like, I know it's possible because a lot of artists, they're independent, but I know it's harder though. But like, I don't want to be signed to no labels, because
Why?
Because all the stories I've heard, like how crazy it gets in the industry, and I don't want no labels to try to control me, and I don't want to be in charge of my music, because like I put my all into it.
Would you?
I mean, of course, with the help of you and like.
Would you?
Whoever, but.
Would you take on an investor, like somebody investing in you?
I don't know how that works, but I have to look into it. But
like somebody just putting money up with the interest of getting their money back plus some later.
I mean, I'd have to do like a lot of thinking about that, because I don't know. I don't know. I hear too many crazy stories on the internet about the industry, and I just know a lot of artists, they talk about, like, I watch a lot of podcasts on artists too, and they talk about they had to sue this person, sue that person, start all over with this label and this. I'm just like, I think I want to be independent.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to do a lot more research on that, and that is far from your concern right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not anything you need to be thinking about right now.
I know.
But if you really think about it, labels are just investors who have industry connects and vast knowledge on marketing and promo. But the whole thing is certain artists sign labels. I mean, they sign a label deal too soon.
Yeah.
It's just like they had a couple labels that are seeing them rise, and then they jump at that opportunity, and they could have excelled their career like much further, to where the deal would have been bigger. It would have been a better deal. You know what I'm saying? And you would be more priority on the label. So a lot of labels see the artists who are rising and climbing, and they just try to snatch them up. Even, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's a good business practice by the label, but sometimes it's a terrible decision by the artist. But if you wait till like you're like this bigger artist, to the point where you don't even need the label, that's actually the best time to sign with a label. But of course, you would have to do your research, because it all depends on how big do you want to get.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I know a lot of artists, like, they, like, who,
See, now let me just tell you this. You hear the horror stories, but like, you don't hear people saying, I love my label, because artists don't do that. It's a lot of artists who love their label. They just don't go on ranting about it like the people who don't. They go complaining about it on podcasts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you only are hearing the negative side. You're not hearing like how labels have super propelled people's careers and scaled their fan base like beyond their wildest dreams. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I do want you to do your research on the positive side, just so you can make a fair decision when that time comes. Because I'm definitely hoping that some labels come to Detroit, more labels come to Detroit. Independent, just people who have money and want to invest in some talent. Like Star Factory, we need that. Because we are preparing people for the big stage. And I need some people to want to be able to help take them to that next level, because like you said, it is much harder. It's much harder. You know what I'm saying? It's much harder when you're trying to like really like do this and never look back and like pay all your bills off of this. So I'm glad you asked that question, because I wanted to get that off my chest for a long time. But y'all, that is it with Kyeisha. She just did her first class last week. She's on class number 1 here at Star Factory. Yeah. So hopefully by the time you see this, she'll be several classes in, and then you'll be able to follow her and just really document this journey along with us. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm rooting for you. I'm pulling for you. And I am going to do everything in my power to help you sing with power. We gotta hear that voice just doing amazing things out here. So shout out to Kyeisha. We at the factory, and we out.
Bye-bye. Thank you.